Good day. On December 22, on the sidelines of the Ukrainian authorities, the following rumors, gossip, insiders and opinions were discussed. Backstage rumors. There were rumors on the sidelines that the first Patriot air defense battery would be deployed in Lviv. Responsible for accommodation and maintenance will be the Poles. Layout. Earlier there was news that the United States tried to prevent the armed forces of Ukraine from striking at the place where the chief of the General Staff of the RF Armed Forces Gerasimov had arrived, now a strike at the restaurant where Rogozin was. Employees of the institution, visitors and escorts suffered. Of course, they are guided by American satellites that track high-ranking officials of the Russian leadership. Ukraine is just a performer. But it is worthwhile to understand that the answer then arrives in Ukraine. Many sources indicate that it is possible, sooner or later, that Russia will begin to strike at places where Ukrainian top security officials are stationed. Someone deliberately adds fuel to the fire of war. It's a pity that in the games of big uncles, peaceful ones always suffer. Gossip. The source reports that the topic of peace talks may return in 3 months. Now everyone is waiting for certain events and not all of them are related to the hostilities in Ukraine. The Ukrainian people will have to get used to living in a constantly deteriorating world. From the positive, only one thing: the United States will allocate another $38, or even $45, billion of credit for the war to Ukraine. Gossip. According to gossip, trains of infantry are now being sent to Bakhmut, and trains of wounded and crippled soldiers are going back. Bakhmutovskaya meat grinder spares no one. On the sidelines there is a message that Bakhmut will be kept at any cost until the United States provides a loan, for which Zelensky himself had to fly and beg. If the city were handed over now, then the allocation of the loan could be wrapped up. The infantry pays with their lives and destinies, so that the West will deign and give Ukraine a loan to buy weapons from them, so that the United States can stimulate its own production and budget. Inside. The source said that the office of the president expects the delivery of tanks in the spring of 2023 to Ukraine. The West will be forced to increase the supply of weapons so that the war does not go into a protracted phase, which means that new types of weapons will appear in the armed forces of Ukraine soon. Gossip. The chief of the General Staff of the RF Armed Forces, Gerasimov, made a hint to the armed forces of Ukraine that the battle for Donbass would begin now, since the priority for the Russians, liberate, the territory of the DPR. Of course, this can be a distraction and the main blow can be dealt elsewhere. Conclusion: the war will go on for at least the whole of 2023, which means there will be more destruction in the country, as well as graves. Gossip. Rumor has it that Zelensky promised the American lobby a winter offensive. Now all over the country there is an activation of military commissars who catch men for the future offensive of the armed forces of Ukraine. Gossip. The source reports that humanitarian convoys with generators are now massively moving in Ukraine. The level of corruption in this sector is off scale. The schemes are varied. It is important to have bogus public organizations to which you write off assistance, and then sell it on the market through your sole proprietorship. Gossip. Rumor has it that Zelensky was invited to Washington to act as an advertising person so that the Democrats could push through their $45 billion project, which would make money for the Democrat arms corporations. Layout. Putin today, with his statement, confirmed the information that the Russians will hunt for American Patriot air defenses. So these installations will most likely be installed in western Ukraine. And lastly, the U.S. Senate has approved the country's 2023 budget of $1.7 trillion. The budget provides for the allocation of $44.9 billion in assistance to Ukraine. 2023 will not be boring. See you soon.